Well, good Friday morning. This is Community Church of Loyalton's daily devotion. Bill Loveridge here. We're going to hearken back a couple of weeks to Good Friday. I don't think we can ever get too much of the Easter story. This devotion is written in the first person by the Roman Centurion. It's by the Farmer Girl on Facebook, and I titled it The Roman Centurion. We had done this before. That is probably the worst part of the whole story, if I'm being honest with you. Not the noise, not the blood, not even the way the sky started acting strange, like it knew something we didn't. It was the normalcy of it, the routine. Crucifixions were not rare. They were not shocking to us anymore. They were a job. Orders handed down, carried out, dust brushed off of our hands when it was done. You learn, if you want to survive that kind of work, how to narrow your world down to the small things, the practical things. Don't think too hard about the man on the cross. Think about your shift. Think about when you'll eat next. Think about what you might get out of, like the clothes. That part was standard too. The condemned didn't need them anymore, and a man's garments were worth something. Fabric was not cheap. So we did what soldiers do when there's something to divide and no clear way to split it cleanly. We gambled. Sat there at the foot of a dying man, watching him pull himself up for each breath, and argued over who got what, like it was market day instead of an execution. One of the men shook the dice in his hand, grinning like this was the best part of the afternoon. Another leaned back on his elbows, already claiming the outer garment in his head before the roll even landed. Someone made a joke. I laughed. I remember that. I wish I didn't, but I do. It was easier that way. His tunic, though, that one gave us pause. Woven in one piece, no seams. You don't tear something like that without ruining it. Even we knew that. So we said, fine, no cutting. We'll cast lots for it. Winner takes the whole thing. Practical, efficient, almost respectful if you squint hard enough and ignore everything else happening 5 feet above us. I remember looking up once, just once. You tell yourself not to. You tell yourself it's just another condemned man, another shift to get through. But something in the air made it harder to keep your eyes down. Maybe it was the way the crowd had changed. Less shouting, more watching, or maybe it was the darkness rolling in at an hour that it had no business being there. Or maybe it was him. He didn't sound like the others. Most men cursed us, spit what little strength they had left into words meant to wound. I would have in their place. But this one, he spoke like he still had authority, even nailed to wood. He asked for forgiveness for the very men dividing up his clothes. I remember that line catching somewhere. I didn't have a name for it at the time. It didn't make sense. It still doesn't. Not in a normal way. Father, forgive them. We were literally in the middle of taking his belongings while he said it. The dice hit the ground. I watched them roll like it mattered, like the outcome meant anything, like this piece of cloth was worth more than whatever was happening right in front of us. One of the men whooped when he won, clutching that tunic like he'd struck gold. I slapped him on the back, told him he'd better not ruin it. Above us, the man we had stripped was holding on to life by inches, and still we played our game. Looking back, that's what gets to me. Not that we were cruel. Cruelty can at least see what it's doing. We were something worse. We were distracted, busy, focused on small gains while standing at the center of the most important moment the world has ever seen. We were close enough to hear him breathe, close enough to hear him speak, close enough to watch the sky go dark and the ground begin to tremble, and we were arguing over fabric. I don't know what you do with that exactly, except maybe this: be careful what you're focused on. Because it is entirely possible to be inches away from something holy, something life changing, something that splits history in two, and still be so caught up in your own little game that you miss it. We thought we were winning that day. Turns out we were just rolling the dice at the foot of a cross while the world was being saved right over our heads. Father, open my eyes. Open my eyes to see your Son. Open my ears to hear the Spirit whisper to me. Give me a boldness not to ignore, but to step out. Father, thank you that you love us so much that you sent your Son for me. Father, thank you. In Jesus' name. There have been times in my life where I am sure that I was too busy, to use the analogy, gambling while something monumental was happening right in front of me and I didn't even notice. Chew on that today. What are you missing out on? I'll be back tomorrow with another devotion. Be blessed.